You have
frozen.
good,
Want to know what time the brisket party Sunday
well,
at
it's
your
going to be, it's
house?
Prime
going to be,
rib, it's
it's
not
prime rib.
brisket.
You're not, so you're going to be
Prime
at the
rib.
wrong party. You're going to be at the wrong
Hey,
party.
I'm
It's prime rib.
acquiesce. It's okay. Prime, any 2 o'clock good?
Well,
We'll
yeah,
make it work.
come at
Not
2.
answering.
It'll be all
Not
gone
an
by
answer.
2.
You won't be home.
No, I don't think so.
The
So
best,
how's everybody doing this week? How's work going this week?
it's going pretty good.
Productive.
Yeah. Maria, how I get your post. You were talking about home sales in Bergen County
Yeah,
picking up.
yeah, it's very, very seriously. There's just a lot of misconceptions and there's a lot of knuckleheads out there too. I got to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So, oh my gosh. So we in Bergen, we've seen the first 4 weeks went like this, and the next, and now we've been going like this, and we're way ahead of where we were last year.
Really?
Week over week. Oh yeah, crazy time. Like 30% higher last week. Something nuts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but there are still people going, oh, those prices are falling, huh? COVID's killing you, huh? No, not really. We're busier than we've been year over year. So the misconceptions and people thinking that there's going to be, they're going to be, the blood's going to be running in the streets at the end of this. I don't know where they're getting. I think they're thinking back to 2008 and we're having a repeat and we're in a completely different climate, pandemic or not, completely different. People have equity in their homes and anyway, enough preaching.
Yeah, it's we talked. I think you and I talked at the beginning when this was all started, and we talked about the economy. And said everyone that I read and it made sense it was going to be a V-shaped economy. We were gonna, and that's what I'm seeing a lot of as well. I had one client of mine come and he said, "You must be destroyed economically this year because of what's happening." And I was like, "It's actually been the opposite. It's been crazy, and I'm turning people away now because I don't even want to. I'm doing so much more work. I don't know why, but that's the way it's worked out. People are not scared to buy. In fact, I think we're sitting on money, a lot of us, because we can't go nowhere to spend it. So no one's being
Colette, Colette, what are you seeing? Because it's bounced back up faster than you thought, right? Or no?
As far as, with what I do with insurance, the what we're looking at is it's harder to get in front of someone because, we're dealing with a trust factor, and it's easier when you're able to sit with them and talk to them and, look in their eyes. When it comes to doing something on Zoom, it's just not the same. So you pretty much have to establish yourself a little bit more. And then it's a longer period of time before you can actually close the deal.
But it's not for want of money.
No.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that we're all going to have to do as business owners now, adapt to the changing reality of how we do business. Right. I mean, and for those who adapt, that we're gonna do well. For those who don't adapt, it's interesting. That's the thought for the week. It's like, don't wait for opportunity created. I was speaking to a colleague of mine. He's a CPA, and I just hired him to do some work for me on a more recurring basis. And I told him, he was like, "Oh, so when can I come into the office?" I said, "We're going to do it remotely." "Oh, no, why? No way, no remotely." He said, "I'm still picking up clients and dropping taxes off." And I'm like, I haven't seen a client in months, and it's okay. We're on Zoom and we have meetings, and it's like being in front of them, and they're home. It's convenient for them. I'm convenient for me. And he was like, I don't know if that's going to work. It works. I've been doing it all year, and as we keep moving forward, more and more people are going to say, "Why do I need to come into your office?" Except for Bruce, who comes into my office. But, it's just taking advantage of opportunities, making the opportunities work. And I think we're all doing that, right? Maria, I've seen your Facebook ads with your realtor. I forgot his name. Corey, and I'm like,
Corey.
I'm going through the house, and I'm like, this is really cool. You know, and it's going to be the way things go. We have to be adaptable. You know, if we're going to
I
stay
tell
in
you,
business.
I was, I don't know if you guys get this, but I was shocked. They allowed in-person open houses for the first time this past weekend. You know, in almost 3.5 months. And Corey wanted to do one. I'm like, okay, I'll support you with it. I'll be on the street because you have to have everybody sign a COVID form. Got to have a mask.
Wow.
It's occupied, so you got to have gloves. No kids, one at a time. It was 90 degrees. It was humid. So I've got bottled water for them. You know, when it's, you know, one person uses a pen, it has to be disinfected. I mean, a little nutty, right? I had 6 agents send their clients to the house, and I was appalled. In a normal market, everybody in, who cares, see the house, all good. But in a pandemic, when you're going to be distance on the street, melting in the sun, waiting to get into the house, why are you doing this to your client? Or putting them in this environment when you can make an appointment to see that house? Like, what are you doing? I was appalled. I said to Corey, I'm not doing this again. You want to be inside the house? Okay, put a sign on the door. Let them sweat it out by themselves outside. But this is nuts to, you know, and we've always tried to accommodate other agents' clients, but you can't do this if they're being and insensitive. That's how I felt about it. I don't know.
Wow.
Am I being too harsh?
No. You know what? I'm not going to say harsh, but I think, you know, look, this is all.
Where's your office?
And too many of us.
Oradell, and the house was in Oradell.
Yeah, I think too many people don't think this thing through. Oh, go. You know, they're not thinking through the process for their client. But you know, my dad was a mechanic, and I remember years ago when I was working with him, he told me the difference between a good mechanic and a great mechanic. A good mechanic fixes the problem. A great mechanic figures out why the problem happened. And he, you know, he taught me all kinds of things. It's funny because but it works in life. You know, you don't just look at the problem, you look at the things surrounding it and you fix that. That's probably what will separate a good real estate agent from an average one. Oh, go look at that house. It's open house this week. The other one says, you know what? This is new. We have restrictions. It's 90 degrees. Let's make an appointment. It's a small thought, but it's a big thought. Because that client now says, man, that's why I love Maria, because she thinks about these things.
Well, this is the thing. Again, I think I mentioned this before we had another conversation. You have to train your clients. And so with the way you feel, Maria, and the way some of us feel, we don't want to get with them because we care about them. We care that, number one, it's a pandemic. Number two, to be standing outside in 90-degree weather, you know, we don't want them to have to go through that. So in training them and letting them know we're doing this for your protection, you know, it's to help you. And that's part of the relationship management that we have going on. We actually care for our clients.
Yeah. And that requires really, we have to put the thought in first, you know, like you have to think through it, and then you can recommend or help your client to think through something. It's like that with coaching. You can't just off the cuff come up with stuff and think no, you have to think through the process first and then say, okay, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it could even require tweaking, but if you've given it due thought, it's just tweaking as opposed to destroying the whole thing and starting over again every time. You know, I can imagine you send your client there and the client calls you back and says, I went to that open house and I stood out in the sun for 2 hours. And you go, that was disastrous. What am I going to do next time? You know, and so at least if you've given it thought, and I think that's what separates good professionals. And some of us, not us, but some people just operate without giving it due diligence. I think that's really important to do if we're going to be effective.
I think it's where the focus is. Like, is it, if your business is client centric and you try and think from their viewpoint, what's going to make a seamless or a pleasant, a positive experience for my client, what's going to benefit them, then you do the right thing. If you're thinking about what's the quickest way for me to make a buck, it's not always the same.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, with craziness, we've got to pivot a little about what we do to protect. I don't know. We've always encouraged agents, oh, your clients are always welcome, but we really can't roll out the red carpet for idiots. And so I think we will. I said to Corey, you're killing it with the open house, the virtual open houses. Let's keep it at that and make them make an appointment. We don't, if other people can't take care of their own clients, we'll have to kind of help them do that.
Yeah. And I think that if you're giving thought even for other people's clients, they're going to appreciate it even more. And I think that's even really cool. I have my own private appointment for this walkthrough.
Yeah.
Makes you feel special. I would. They shut stores down for the celebrities, and they say you can come back at 8. We shut it down for you. That's how I'd be feeling. I might come in and try to sign an autograph. You'd be like, no, moron. That's a flyer. You want my signature? No. So interesting. So let's get some thoughts on this theme. Don't wait for opportunity, create it. Do you see that? How do you apply that to your business?
Upselling.
That's what you're saying? Upselling?
Upselling.
Elaborate?
Perfect example of creating opportunity. So I get a phone call from a now client. I was referred to them from somebody who I did work for like 3 years ago. And I keep in touch on and off, just, hey, how you doing? How's the equipment? Oh, it's working great. And I don't really sell because I'm not that great of a salesman. I just like to talk to people. So this guy said, yeah, I heard that you did good work. Went out there, did a job, reasonably priced. And then he said, I tried to have other people out here and I don't understand why they were charging me so much more than what you charge me. So I said, what did their trucks look like? And he says, what do you mean? I said, did their trucks have like a lot of colors and graphics and stuff? He said, yeah. I said, what does my truck look like? He said, it's just white. I said, see, that's one less thing you have to pay for. I said, when you called up to set the appointment up, who'd you talk to? Nice sounding young lady on the phone or a young man? Yeah. I said, well, when you called me to set the appointment up, who'd you talk to? Me. One less thing for you to pay for. And so after like 2 or 3 different times of doing that, he said, oh, so I get it. You don't have as much overhead. I said, exactly. So I said, I just like to deal with people one-on-one. He says, well, is there anything else you do? And I said, oh yeah, there is. I do general contracting work as well. So now I got a bathroom remodel job out of it. So it's like that, taking advantage of, now that I'm on Instagram, I just sold a 3-room remodel job because I put my daughter on Instagram as my future floral woman. Yeah. And she's very, she's not here, right? Okay.
She just went upstairs.
She's very saucy. So she's like, after I videotaped her, she's like, why did you do that, Dad? I said, because it's going to bring me business. Sure enough, she sold me a job. So it's like learning how to just talk to people, kind of like what Maria was saying, not always looking for the buck. And more, especially with the current climate, I think people are appreciating that. I mean, I have to charge you, but I don't have to kill you. You know what I mean? So just taking those opportunities and letting them know who I am is creating more opportunities.
And can I just extract something from there too? You said something I think is important. You said putting it on Instagram. So I think maybe 3 weeks ago, I don't remember the dates, you were like, yeah, I'm going to work on my social media stuff. Remember?
Right, 3 weeks ago.
That's going to be part of it. And not only are you, so that's creating the opportunity, right? Not just letting it happen. You created the Instagram page. You're not an Instagram master yet, I don't think, but you still are, you're using it and you're thinking about how to make this work for me. And now you're getting the benefit. So a lot of times I think opportunity is like, they say it's like knocking on the door, but if we don't take the opportunity, if we don't create the opportunity, we won't get the opportunity. So, I mean, that's really, when I think about that whole phrase, not waiting for it, you do have to make it. You've got to put in the work. and then it can reap you dividends. So that's a really cool story. And I'm
Mhm.
glad you brought up the IG part, because I have an IG page too. I just don't know how to get to it. I don't.
I'm not even gonna mess with that, man.
I'm serious. I don't. But
I think I tagged you or I sent you a message on Instagram the other day.
did I reply?
No.
Okay. I haven't logged into IG in probably
Jonathan, are you
a month and a
Jonathan
half.
Adams?
On Instagram, I
Yeah.
am the name of my company, Mars, MARS, a Yaden LLC. I'll type it in. I think I could type it in the
Type it in the chat.
yes, in the chat. Yes.
What am I,
You said
Jonathan, in Instagram?
I don't know what you are, man.
Mars,
don't know.
what is it? Mars, whatever? Mars?
I'm gonna type it in for you right now.
Okay.
Type it in right now. I don't know
Hey.
where you are, Mark.
I'm on Instagram right now.
I'm trying to find Mark.
And
Okay,
somebody
here we go.
replied to my story.
I have to learn this better.
Me
Mark,
too.
so you're Mr. Mark Adams.
Oh wow, hold on.
Mars.
We're getting lost, aren't we here?
Yeah.
It become an
It's-
Instagram tutorial.
It's interesting though. For me, honestly, I'm on Instagram, but I have people working with me in social media and stuff like that. And so I think that they are doing
I'm following you, dude.
All right,
me
awesome.
or John.
Thank you.
John, I'm going
I
to
don't
follow
know
you
Instagram.
next.
I don't know, John. I don't know how to do this thing yet. Here's a question. Should we learn Instagram as business owners, really?
I think it
For
depends
me,
who your clients are.
Yes.
for me, it's been paying off, and I've only been on it for 3 weeks.
Right.
So I'm always on Facebook. And I know
Are your
Facebook,
clients on Facebook?
they are. I don't, but the thing that's interesting is I don't know if they're on Facebook and Instagram. And should I be?
Right.
And how
Well,
does that work? I know
let me-
Facebook and Instagram talk to each other now.
Well, yeah, let me just say, because I've been doing online marketing for a while. And even
Yes.
though I didn't teach Instagram, I more so used to do Facebook and Twitter at that time. But Instagram is owned by Facebook, so they both
Yes.
use algorithms, certain type of algorithms. And I personally prefer Instagram, and everything that I put out, I feed it automatically into Facebook. But then I go back to Facebook and I respond on Facebook. It's just really easier for me to do that.
And so my marketing assistant does that too. We said there's a thing a switch you can flip that says put this on both, because I know it's important to be on both,
Mhm.
to put the message out on both. But what I don't do is peruse Instagram at all. I peruse Facebook. Should I be learning how to peruse Instagram? What do you think? Like you said, I sent you a message, Mark, you didn't reply. Yeah, because I'm never on that.
Mhm.
But should I be as well? I mean, that's the challenge that I'm having, I think, at the moment.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I
Go
was
ahead.
just going to say that I think that Instagram is a lot more effective. Facebook, I feel I tend to get lost even when I'm on there trying to go through looking at my posts. It's way easier to get distracted when you're on Facebook. Instagram to me is a little bit more controllable for me. That's just my personal feeling.
Gotcha.
Now, I don't know. This is a little different for me, right? I peruse Facebook a lot because we have family on there. Most of my friends are on there, what have you. But Instagram is set up to basically alert me whenever somebody either views something that I put up there or they say something. Then I will go there and put a like or response, because I'm just now getting into responding. For the first couple of weeks, all I've been doing is putting content out. But anytime I see an alert, then yes, I'll go to Instagram and do something. But I still peruse Facebook mostly.
So that's where I'm lacking. I need to do Instagram alerts. That's where I'm lacking.
No,
But it
it'll
does it
notify
automatically.
you.
Yeah, it notifies you.
I'm not
automatically.
getting any notifications for anything.
Your notifications might not be on.
That's
There
what I
you
mean.
go.
So that's what I mean. I need to do that.
So if you're asking the question about the opportunity, this is an opportunity. You
Got
know,
'em.
if you know that a social media platform is a way for you to be able to get more business or get in front of your what's more of your client base, then you take that opportunity. And I found that Instagram, like I said, works better. And then there's actually a particular software that I use to post my Instagram posts. I schedule them. And with this particular software, you can put a link in bio that takes you to a page that looks like Instagram, but it allows people to tap on each of your posts and still go to wherever you wanted them to go. If you're just using Instagram with your regular link to a website, that's the only place it'll go, because
Right.
Instagram won't allow you in your post to link out anywhere. So I take advantage of that code that's in my link in bio, and wherever I send them is where they go, just by pressing the link.
To Colette's point, that's my goal. Is my new goal is to tie Instagram to my Facebook now, because it just blew my mind how in 3 weeks I have almost 50 followers, got a job off of it, and I have hundreds of friends on Facebook that's just sitting there waiting to be connected. So it just seems to make sense, kind of jumping on your theme like Colette did, creating opportunities. Here's one sitting looking at me, waiting to be taken advantage of. So why not? And it's easy to do, to link them. It's very easy to do. Kind of disappointed in myself for waiting this long.
Hey, business is honestly though, marketing and all, it's a process, right? We don't know it all. And you know what, we can't have our hands in every pot. That's like saying, man, I'm so happy I learned how to now smoke a prime rib.
Prime
I'm
rib.
disappointed that I didn't. No, you eating chicken and steak before. It's all good. It's not like, that's the process of growing your business, and you can't do it all, and you don't have the capacity to do it all, so don't sweat what you haven't done. I have not, I still don't know my login to Instagram. It's not like I'm in regret mode. I'm busy with work. I'm okay.
It's as easy as just pressing forgot password.
Well, no. First, you got to kind of know what your login is. It's a whole process, right? First, you got to know how to get to Instagram. I'm being serious here. I installed it on my iPhone. I installed it on my iPhone, but I
got them started now.
I have to find it. But the beautiful thing about it, I mean, honestly, is it's okay. It's okay. It's not like Instagram is going to make me or break me. It might help in the future. So I'll learn it. I'll get it if it makes sense. I think it's also different for the type of industry you're in. I had a buddy, one of my clients, not a buddy, a client who was working with some Instagram king. He's got 10,000 followers. He's like, that guy just makes money. They do housing. And for some reason that really pops. And then he had him on, and he was talking, and he was on our group before last week, in fact, Omar. And he was talking about how he got on, and he was talking about how he would do the bathrooms and the kitchens because he sells cabinetry and stuff. He said, I got business from that immediately. Well, that works in that kind of an industry. But I'm going to tell you right now, me putting a bunch of posts on Instagram is not going to get me an advisory client that easily. It's not that direct. So I can focus on posting on Instagram and Facebook till the cows come home, or I can create a seminar or a workshop on the 4 ways to grow your business and be more profitable. So it also depends on that regard. I think you build your foundational pieces and then you add on. Yeah. It's okay if it takes time. I'm trying to build my foundational pieces, and I'll figure out how to find Instagram later. That's what I got a brother for.
Oh, your big brother. Yeah, you got it.
Oh, you know what? He might know more about it. He knows a lot of things that I'm always shocked with. He might know. He might. He's
a Renaissance man.
I'll have to check. But I got people. I'll learn the rest. But you're right. You want to take advantage of the opportunities. So I mean, Jonathan talked about his opportunity. What about you, Colette? Since you're talking opportunities, what opportunities have you created for yourself recently to help grow your business?
Well, again, social media is what I do, what I've done. I create my graphics, I create my own graphics, I do my copy. So all of my posts, I do a lot of research to see different ad types that are out there, and I mimic them basically. I mimic them because whether it's a picture I take or I download, buy stock images or whatever, and I create those ads or those posts or whatever. I have to use those opportunities because I want to get across that message to people, and I want it to be clear and effective. I do quotes, and I do lifestyle images and different things like that. So I just use that opportunity to be able to put out there some of the best things that I think is going to affect people when they see it psychologically to respond to it.
Okay. I'm really impressed with your posts, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
see them on Facebook.
That's because they're shared from Instagram.
I thought so.
Actually, the software that I use, I'm able to schedule for both Facebook and
Which software are you using?
It's called Later, Later.com.
Okay. Have you ever heard of this one called, is it Buffer?
No.
No? Okay.
No, because I went through a few of them to see which one I would like best. And I like that one because, again, that link in bio portion of it was very important to me.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know.
Colette, do you have a background in social media, or do you just use it to support your financial business?
I actually have another company. I've been doing online marketing since 2012, mainly email marketing and some, social media marketing, doing Facebook and Twitter. So I've been doing that for years, and I used to teach classes to business owners. So I just, use the experience that I have. And let me tell you, the hardest part of that is, there's companies out there that'll do that for you. And what I'm trying to do right now is being able to trust a company to do what I'm doing, because
Right.
I need them to be able to take my message and put out there what I want it to look like. And that's hard because that's what I do. That's what I've done for years. So for right now, I'm still hooked as my own social media manager.
Because you do it. I love your stuff, man. You look so
Thank you.
professional.
Thank you.
It's
And I create
fabulous.
all of those I created.
And it's hard to give when you're creative. See, I'm not creative like that. I'm not creative much at all. But
Don't put yourself down, man.
but but when you're creative like that, it's hard to give that to someone else because you know
It is.
exactly your vision, what you want, how it needs to look, the flow of it. So I get it. Like it's hard
But
to
I'm
give
gonna,
that up.
and I agree with you, but I'm going to tell you this. You must continue to find someone to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep looking. Don't stop. This is experience talking. When I started my business, I'm not creative like that. I don't have design skills, but I had technical skills. I was a programmer. So I remember when I started this business, when I went full-time, 07, 08, I literally created my website in Microsoft Word. That's what I used to do for a living. Built it, threw it up there in like 3 days. Cool, basically. I knew all about websites back then, like the value of doing it in all HTML, faster load time, blah, 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 blah. And for maybe the next almost 10 years, I tweaked my website. I redesigned it because it wasn't good enough in Word. I redesigned it in a small software called Coffee Cup. And I built it. And I had dozens of pages. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And I learned all this SEO and I did it myself. This is what I used to do for a living. It got to a point where, and I mean, I'm growing the business is growing. It got to a point where it's kind of looking ugly because my skills were technical, not design. So it was kind of looking ugly. But it was hard for me to give up control, right? To say, man, because when I wanted to do something, like if I wanted to put this on my website, when I shut this down, this video conference we had now, I would write the code, pop it in, I would see my change in 30 seconds or less. That's what I did. But it got to a point where I'm trying to sustain my clients. I don't got time to be sitting up here writing HTML code and tweaking HTML code, even though I was good at it. And so as you start growing your base, you're going to get to a point where you're like, I need to offload it. So keep looking. I'm not telling you to do it now.
I trust me.
Keep looking.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
To be able to trust them. Yeah, well, yeah, because it's design stuff. So
and it might take time, but keep looking.
Being able to trust someone.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean, because it was a challenge for me to give up my website. It was a challenge. I mean, and even now, sometimes I want to do things, and I use, you and I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I use a company, and it is limiting. You know, certain things that I want to do with my site, they're like, oh, we can't do that.
And I don't like to hear that.
Yeah. But there's another thing that we have to keep in mind as business owners. You know, the idea is to make money. Will it stop me? Will it stop me from making money?
Right.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't get my rotational banner. Is that really stopping a client from coming to me? You know, and that's something that we have to keep in mind too. So we don't waste time or get caught up in the minutia. I'll tell you a story if you want to hear it about websites. It's so funny. I'm not going to use the guy's name, but we're business advisor. I'm a business advisor. Last year or so, we had a conference with all these business advisors, and this guy was on it, and he's converting from taxes just like I am, and he started a month before me. And we're talking about our stories. You know, I got an advisory client. I'm excited. This guy had like 15. I was like, what? He got 15 clients? So at the time I was trying to redesign my website, part of it, the look and feel, so that it's more attractive to people for business advisory. So I said, well, if Joey got 15, let me check his website out. And I went to his website. It was the ugliest thing I had ever seen in my life. It looked like the website I made in Microsoft Word in 2007. I said, this guy's website is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. But you know why I love that? Because it taught me something. Why am I fixating on websites if clients aren't? I don't even know if the clients, he got 15 advisory clients. I don't even know if they saw his website, because his website didn't talk a thing about advisory. So it really helped me to understand something about business. We fixate on what we fixate on, but that doesn't mean that that's what's going to make us money.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. You know, it's your passion is design, and I'm not telling you not to do it, of course, but be ready to let it go, because you're going to find that might not be what matters as much. Maybe, you know, maybe it won't be as fly as you got it, because your stuff is fly, but it could be a little less fly and you still get clients. That's all. But it'll come in time. We'll figure it out. You figure it out. That's what I've learned, at least. So I stopped tripping over my website. I know I need to fix it though. Still needs a little work. Still needs a lot of work. But I think I have to reprioritize it.
Yeah.
So actually, when I think about making opportunities, that's what I want to try to keep in mind. Make the right opportunities to grow the business. Focus on that first. Priorities. It's critical. Bruce, you're back. I thought.
I got a phone call from my family in New Orleans. My kids and grandkids are keeping road.
Oh, Bruce. We barely got you, unless it's me. Is it my internet or yours?
And, we checked in. What's that?
I don't know if it's my internet struggling or yours. I barely heard you.
My son called. They're on a
I think there's a connection.
road trip. My son from Nuts and his family. And,
Oh, okay.
And he called me to check in. They're in the middle of this at the moment, so I hadn't spoken to him.
Gotcha. Hey, before I get lost in this, we're about like 45 minutes in. So I just want to make sure that we do what we try to do here, which is help each other stay accountable. Last week we had some goals. I wanted to help. Hopefully we can chat about them, see where we're at, what we're doing. That makes sense? Jonathan, you had a goal last week. Laid the groundwork for
Yes.
your team of contractors. Is that right? Yep. How'd it go?
Yep. Added 3 more. So what we're trying to do is each major trade have at least 3 contractors that are fully reliable. I have five main categories. I have some. It's a time thing. It's a process thing. But yeah, we're building out. I mean, if I was to combine everybody, I have the capability now of running projects at a time. So I'm trying to build it so that the next step can be reached. The next
Let me
step
ask you, maybe
is
hold on. I'm
more
going to
process.
pause you for a second. Does it sound like he's got rocks in his mouth? Okay. I don't know if it's my, I
I
don't know
do.
if it's my connection or your connection. I don't know.
You
I
sound
can hear you
choppy too.
fine, Mark.
Say again?
That's my
I can hear
connection.
you fine.
Okay. All
I
right.
can't. I can't. He sounds like rocks.
Me? I
It's-
do?
Oh, Mark, you sound fine. I mean, sorry. Mark, you're fine. Jonathan's terrible.
Right.
Okay. So it's your Wi-Fi at the moment. No worries. I'm just wondering.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. And
Now
Bruce,
you sound
clearly,
fine.
say it again.
How do I sound now?
Now you
Now you
sound
sound
fine.
fine.
You smoothed out now. Because you were sounding choppy to me. So you smoothed out now. I don't know what that was.
Wi-Fi is an interesting thing.
Mhm.
So
But-
but we did get that you were doing a nice job of laying the groundwork. You're starting to get that team together. Okay.
Yeah, it's growing. It's growing. I'm at 2 full teams working on building a third.
2 full teams working on building a third. Did we get that right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Very nice. Colette, you had a goal.
Yes.
50 cold calls.
Yes.
How'd it go?
30.
Congratulations. That's not bad.
Yeah,
honestly.
I was going to do some more, but unfortunately, a lot of those numbers were bad numbers. So I'm going to have to follow up and try to do a mailing to those addresses.
That's cool. No, but that's really cool. I mean, and that's really, we set the goal. To me, if you would have said I didn't make any, I'd be like, oh, okay. But you started. Okay,
Right.
that's the whole idea.
And
I
I did,
actually-
out of the 30, I got 1 brand new appointment, 2 brand new appointments for next week. And then I've got some reviews and the second appointment with another person.
Awesome. Well, then that is success right there. So at least for your, are you tracking your numbers?
I lost
Yes.
you guys.
So hey, Bruce, welcome back.
Yeah, I don't, it's the computer. I was here. I couldn't log.
Yeah. Wi-Fi is funny like that, man. That happens. So Colette, are you thinking that every 30 calls you get 2 people?
I think that's good to get 2 people with 30 calls.
No, I mean, I'm asking you, is that, if you're tracking your numbers, is that your concept right now, or is it too early in the game?
I was thinking that I would have to make more phone calls, and the fact that some of the numbers were bad, I think that's actually pretty good.
So do you have that written down somewhere?
Yeah, it's on, I'm going to transfer it into the software that I use to
Nice.
use a financial software to
Nice.
track everything.
They say marketing is a numbers game, but too many times I don't track my numbers, and that's a challenge. So I'm glad that you're able to, if you're starting early, you can track those numbers. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see next week if you do 30 more, where you get 2 and then start getting averages.
How about
Awesome.
my challenge or what I want to do is making sure that I put those numbers in the software. So that's another issue, because I've got my list that I used.
Well, hey, let's do this. Let's do this. Make that your next week challenge, to update your software.
Yeah. Because I think that's where, you know, a lot of times we might make not mistakes, but we might fall short because, you know, sometimes we end up working off of a piece of paper and we write notes and everything, and we
Oh, I'm
really
good
need
for
to
that.
automate.
I'm very good for letting that ball drop. Very
Mhm.
good. That's a good task. If you commit to it now, okay, I know I'm going to do it by next week. It'll get done because you put a deadline on it. John, did you have a task for next week?
Yes, I hope the rocks came out my, but
No,
if not,
still got rocks.
oh man. But
Buy a
I'm
Wi-Fi
trying
extender. Go ahead.
to buy a Wi-Fi. Really, I bought a doggone phone tower, and that's not all that much. But hey, um, I want to flush my and specifically need to find another 8 guy. I'm still looking for an HVAC guy. I have one, told you about him, Mark, like Picasso, but I need some Rembrandts who are a bit more available when I need, because he's in high demand.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
so that I'm not I'm get away from that. So
You
that's
guys getting all that? He needs a.
All I
I'm
heard
gonna
was Picasso and
I'm gonna
Rembrandt.
translate. I'm gonna translate because I know I can speak his language. So he is an HVAC guy. He's working with an HVAC guy as a subcontractor. He's gonna be looking for another one to replace this person. This person is like the Picasso, but I told him you don't always need a Picasso. You can get a couple of Rembrandts. So he's gonna build and get him some Rembrandt HVAC guys instead of the one Picasso, because you cannot rely on one person in this industry. So I'm learning. You have to have multiple teams. Did I translate that right? I got all my sign language in there. And then waka waka. Cool. All right. Maria, you weren't with us last week. Did you want to
No.
set a goal?
Yeah, so this kind of ties in with what you were talking about, Colette. So I have I call it a call log sheet, and I make tick marks, and then at the end of the week I plug it into the software, and I actually hang on to the hard copy in case.
Yeah.
So, but I plug the numbers into the software at the end of the week, and if I do it like midweek, I'll put a check next to the day.
Right.
And I'm fastidious about it, tracking my numbers. But here's where I've been falling down. So I've been giving myself way too many excuses during, the last couple of months. And I have not been making those contacts the way that I was up until mid-March.
Mm-hmm.
It's every excuse in the book. Oh, it's a different time, or what do I... You know, right? You can hear all the freaking excuses. But the numbers don't lie, right? So if you're not making the freaking calls, 3 months from now, I'm going to be in trouble. And so I need to get back to my pre-COVID contact numbers.
Wow.
This week.
Because they're all at home.
Yeah.
They're all at home waiting for you to call.
And in the beginning, it was, I'm making fewer calls because everybody's at home and they're taking up so much time on the phone. The phone calls were taking forever but now we're less isolated, I feel. So I can make more calls. I don't, I can
nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. I am the worst at that. Like,
you're a numbers guy. How could you be the worst at that?
At calling people and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, I thought you meant tracking. Sorry.
No, I'll do okay with tracking. And I'm that expression, physician, heal thyself. Oh, I'll do it for everybody in a minute, but for myself, forget about it. I'm always on the back burner. So yeah, but calling, like actually reaching out to people, I'm lame. That's a big challenge for me. I'm working on getting better at it. I'm trying. Last week my goal was to get all my taxes off my desk.
And?
Didn't work.
Why?
I was doing good. People keep calling and putting new taxes on my desk. And I feel an obligation to my current clients to do the taxes for them. If I did them last year and they're a good client, I'm going to do them if they call. And so that's been a challenge because I just can't wrap it up. But I did do 2 things that weren't even on the list that I'm extremely excited about, which will help me. I made 2 hires this week. 2 hires.
Wow.
The CPA is what I talked about him earlier. Now he's still going to be, he has his own little business. Well, he has his own business. And I wasn't looking to hire him. I was just chatting with him about another client that I gave him that I didn't want to deal with. And I said, yeah, I'm looking to get a CPA. And he was like, hey, why can't we do it together? I'm like, well, because you have your own business. He's like, look, I'm still growing. I have time. So I hired him. I'm going to hire him. And I hired a part-time marketing assistant. It's time. It's time. You know,
Is it Joseph?
no, it's another gentleman.
Okay.
It's an interesting scenario.
Because you know
So,
Nicole is going to be Gonzo.
yeah, she's already gonzo. She dropped me like a hot potato.
Me too.
So, yeah.
Well, no, I have her till July 10th because I had a contract with her.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
So
asking
what
about Colette, because, you know.
oh,
No.
I hired somebody completely different, and Joseph is still with me. He's on my team. What I want is something different, and this is what I'm going to take from what happened with Nicole. It works two ways, right? Sometimes when you have a consultant, the challenge is a consultant has multiple clients, right? They're doing this, and so what I want is someone dedicated to me. And so I'm hiring somebody, and that was part of the interview. Are you a consultant? Are you a contractor? Or no, I want to be an employee. So I have somebody dedicated to me. He is my employee. And that way I can build with him. That's my goal. So Joseph, I still work with Joseph. And Joseph actually, if you're going to work with him, that's cool. I'm not saying anything negative. But
I
Joseph
haven't
actually
made a commitment to anything.
I'm gonna tell you this about Joseph. I mean, we were recording, and if he heard it, I think he'd be fine with it. He's actually, I found Nicole and I found Joseph through this student thing. So he was
Yeah.
he's an intern for me. But Joseph is amazing. Like, I love Joseph. He's incredibly creative. He's got vision. He's proactive. He's a self-starter. And so Joseph and I have spoken, and after his internship is over, I'm going to hire him too. But Joseph is going to build his business. And so I want to work with Joseph as long as Joseph wants to work with me. But I also want somebody who's going to be focused on me. And that's why I hired the other person.
Okay.
So, yeah, Joseph is going to have.
So that's a
he's gonna have
ringing
multiple-
endorsement. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Love Joseph. I
Okay.
mean, phenomenal. But yeah, for me, it's just the way I feel. Like, I want somebody dedicated and focused on everything that I want done. I have too many ideas,
Yeah.
and I want to
wish
get
I
that.
could get an
I want to
intern.
get it going.
I-
We'll talk.
I would train them.
We'll talk for real.
Yeah.
The intern is not
And
hard.
Maria, I actually have clients that I still work with doing their social media. And only reason why I do it is because I've worked with them for so long. And so they know that I can't give them as much as I normally would because of the fact that I'm building this business. And so.
And that's why I want to hire somebody for
Mhm.
that reason, and not in a negative way, right? But there's like this balancing act. And so it used to be I was happy with contractors because you give me what you give me, and that's cool. But now I'm getting a little bit more selfish. I want what I want, and I'm willing to, throw it all on the line and say, hey, 20 hours a week, I think I can keep you busy. And so he's going to be working with me every morning, 20 hours a week, focused on what I want. And part of these things will be, okay, we put together a project plan and my website will get tweaked. Maybe it'll be a month from now. I don't know, but we'll come up with a plan. And I hired a guy who is already in marketing. I don't want somebody who's not that I wouldn't have hired Joseph in that regard, but I don't want I want somebody who knows more than me, who can tell me, hey, you need to track your cold calling numbers or whatever, even though I don't do cold calling. So that's why I hired as well. I thought that was big. I've never hired 2 people in 1 week for myself.
It is big.
Yeah, so, and hopefully it'll hi Ma. Hopefully it'll come to fruition. That was my mama. She didn't even say hi. I know she won't. Anyway.
After you said hello, I almost in my mouth.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So that's cool. I think we all have goals for next week. And
Did you see the ad for me? I typed the chat.
hold on, I didn't see it. Hold on, let's see. I didn't pop it up, and I think if I pop it up, it'll record too. Since I can't see, oh, okay, I will type.
Marissa, she pays
I want to
attention to
start
me,
conceptual. Okay, Jonathan, Mr. Adams, you are getting on my nerves.
I'm sickening, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, I know I'm a little delinquent. Here's our meeting from last week. I haven't typed up the plan yet, but that is not part of your plan. So don't even think about it. That's out of the question. Okay, thank you. We're done. With that, you're not going to be conceptualizing a marketing campaign this week. That's out of the question.
Well, when you
Thank you.
decide to get back to me, Will, what is in the question?
Yeah, well, don't we have a meeting tonight at 6:00?
That's what matters.
Okay, yeah, but we've got enough to keep you busy. Trust me. Colette, you're muted. Can you please unmute your mic, Colette?
Forgot I was muted. I think that having your daughter make special appearances is really cute. And I think you should, bring her in from time to time. Maybe buy her a little baby hard hat or something with your logo on it.
Ordered one. I ordered one. That's funny
Good.
you said that. Yeah, she got a little tube belt in too. But
Yes.
Very cool.
Whatever. If you start working on a marketing campaign, I will drive down, get my prime rib, punch you in the eye, and run away. Just so you run marathons. I will drive away. That's not in the plan. You've got other things. It's all about prioritizing your activity to maximize your profitability.
Right.
Oh, I love that. Did I say that?
Yes, you did. And it's recorded so you can go back and make sure.
Wow. Okay. But that's important. We make that mistake all the time. We don't prioritize our activities, and therefore we don't maximize our profitability. I'm trying to get this guy to maximize. So anyway, that's it. I'm done. Before we wrap it up, does anybody have anything else that we need to chat about, or any questions, comments?
We've got to add more people to this. Y'all know more than me, but I think the really
Say again?
good thing.
Say again?
Invite more people.
Invite more people, he said.
I invited 2 people today, but I guess they weren't able to make it.
Yeah.
If they're interested, let's do this too. If they're interested, let me ask them, and I will at least put them on the email invite, and they can have the email invite. So ask them, and then definitely we can put them on the email invite. Yeah, I want to start inviting more people. I'm a little scared though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like a small group. This is like really cool because we just really get to rap. I want to make sure that we always keep it that way, where we can rap. I think we can do more without it being onerous. What do you think? Oh, and here's another question. Do you think Fridays are a good day, or should we go for another day? Man, I need a haircut. I'm gonna cut next time you see me, I'm gonna be bald.
I like Fridays.
You do?
Fridays is always my lightest day, so it's usually easiest. I mean, I was on vacation last week, and I'm kind of late coming to the group. I would love it if it was a tiny bit later, so that I could get a lunch in. You know what I mean? Like if you do a noon lunch, you can make a 1:30 easier. But I'll be here at 1 o'clock. I just won't schedule a lunch on a Friday. That's all.
Well, what about everybody else?
Friday at 1 is good for me.
What about Friday at 2?
That'll be okay too.
Just check.
1 just works good because by the time we wrap up at 2, I still can get some stuff done. If I need.
All right, so leave it at 1. That's just me being silly. Don't even think about that.
Well, I'm always wondering and tweaking because I have like a 12 o'clock meeting on Wednesdays, and I'm always like turning the camera off and trying to wolf down French fries, and I know how that goes too. So I want to make sure that it works. But
this is how stupid far ahead of myself I am. When am I getting back to lunches? Like
I get you.
Still so many people that don't even want to like have a coffee 6 feet apart. So that's me being wishful thinking.
That's my wife.
Serious. I'm serious.
Ooh, okay. All right. So we'll stick with our Fridays, and we'll you know what? If we push it back, we'll push it back a half an hour or something like that. But we won't commit to that. We'll we got a couple people who pop in from time to time, so we'll get a consensus. Omar, who was here last week, was like, Friday at 1 is the worst time in the world, but we need to find something that's going to work for us. So I like Fridays at 1. I wouldn't mind Friday at 1:30. Friday at 2 wouldn't bother me, but we'll play it and see. Cool.
Okay.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you. Good seeing y'all.
You too. Have a good day. Okay, thank you, guys.
It's good seeing you too.
See you at
Good
6.
stuff. Have a weekend.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too.